It is literally right. There's one.
All right, so welcome to the 2025 U.S. History B Varsity Finals. Congratulations on making it this far, and let's have a very good round. Can you all hear me okay if I am reading a question like this? Yes. Okay. I'm going to ask that when you give your answer, if you could please make sure to try to give your answer in the microphone, so not just I can hear it, but everybody out there can hear what you said, at which point you will be ruled correct or incorrect. And I know by now you all are familiar with the rules, so I don't think we have to go through that. We have multiple people keeping score, so we will make sure that everything is accurate there. We will do a score check every 5 toss-ups. However, if you feel that you need a score check at some point, just feel free to ask. We will take care of that. Protests, remember, immediate. And we will stop and we will resolve the protest. Okay, you have to do it before we begin the next toss-up. Do any of you have any questions?
If you get scared half to death twice, do you just die?
Yes. Robert asking some very good questions over here. I don't know. We have any psychologists in the audience, maybe?
No, it's like it's like the, what's it called? The Atlanta paradox. You get scared a quarter to death, and then an eighth to death, etc., and you will never be scared to death.
So it's Zeno's arrow, but someone's
-6.
Right.
There you go. All right, so if you're ready, let's go ahead and begin this round. Let's do a buzzer check. Let's start down on the end with Sarah, and then go through this, Sophia, pardon me, and then go through this way. Sophia, if you would. Okay, here we go. Toss-up number 1, good luck. In a Pennsylvania Senate race, this person finished in last place behind Gifford Pinchot and Boyce Enrose.
A. Mitchell Palmer.
A. Mitchell Palmer is correct for 6 points. All right, number 2. Toss-up 2. Vice President Schuyler Colfax passed away while traveling through this city, which serves as the seat of Blue Earth County. Chief Cutnose's execution in this city was used for medical study by William Worrell Mayo as part of the largest single-day mass execution in American history during the Dakota War of 1862. This city was known as the hometown of Governor Tim Walz.
I don't know, Minneapolis?
That's incorrect, that is -2.
Mankato?
Mankato is correct, that is for 5 points. Mankato, Minnesota. Or Mankato.
I will subtract 7
That
points
was
from my
Robert,
score.
yes. Okay, number 3. Herbert Hoover appointed this jurist to the Supreme Court at the urging of William Borah, even though his Jewish background was...
Brandeis?
It is not Brandeis, it is -2.
Cardozo?
Cardozo is correct, that's 6 points, yes. That was Mateo. All right, number 4. This battle is the subject of the Pulitzer Prize-nominated book Where Right and Glory Lead by Donald Graves. During this battle, James Miller was ordered to take enemy artillery and declared, "I'll try, sir." William Hamilton Merritt, a future founder of the Welland Canal, was captured during this battle, in which Gordon Drummond led the forces of Upper Canada. This battle followed Jacob Brown's capture of Fort Erie and the defeat of Phineas Riall at Chippewa.
Lundy's Lane?
Lundy's Lane is correct. That is for 4 points for Pranav Krishna. All right, toss-up number 5, and we will do a score check. Later in life, this author of A History of Knowledge and editor at Encyclopedia Britannica taught Shakespeare at the University of Connecticut. In a 2008 piece for The New Yorker titled All the Answers, this man admitted that he enjoyed the depiction of his one-time rival, Herb Stempel, by actor John Turturro in a 1994 Robert Redford film. For the points, name this academic famous for admitting to Congress that he had been given the answers after winning $129,000 on 21 during the 1950s quiz show scandals.
Stengel.
That is incorrect. That is -1 for Anderson. That is time. That would be Charles Van Doren. Charles Van Doren. Number 6. This person served as president of the 1835 convention that amended the North Carolina Constitution, and he was named the running mate for William Crawford in 1824. This politician was the first.
Bacon.
That is incorrect. That is -2.
Oh, Bacon, sorry.
Macon.
Macon is correct. Yes, that is 6 points for Rajiv. 6 for Rajiv. Sorry, we're doing incorrect. That was Nathaniel Bacon. Number 7, scholars have speculated that this person might be the same person as Paquiquinio, who adopted the name Don Luis during adventures with the Spanish. A violent encounter with this person was illustrated in the General History of Virginia by John Smith. This person was the Werowarans of the Pamunkeys.
Like Powhatan?
That is incorrect. That is -2 for Robert. Of the Pamunkeys at the time of establishment for an early American colony. For the points, name this tribal leader and brother of Powhatan who launched 2 devastating attacks on Jamestown. That is time. That would be Opechanico or Opechantano. Number 8. This term, which was likely coined by members of the American Baptist Home Mission Society, was described in one essay as attempting to guide the mass away from the contamination and death of the worst. A 1903 essay titled For This Term advocated for classical education for one group, which contrasted with ideas for industrial education in the Atlantic Compromise. For the points, name this alliterative term. The talented tenth is correct. That is 4 points for Sophia. Number 9. As part of a plea for self-government, this man commissioned a Jansen-Vischer map of one colony. This man, who loaned wampum to Willem Kieft to aid peace negotiations, was appointed Schout by Kilian van Rensselaer. Russell Shorto chronicled this man's conflicts with Peter Stuyvesant in the book
Word planter.
That is incorrect. That is -2 for Emerson. In the book, The Island at the Center of the World.
Inuit.
That is also incorrect. That is -2 for Robert. For the points, name this lawyer and politician whose description of New Netherland provides an in-depth first-hand account of the Dutch colonization of North America. That is time. That would be Adrian Vanderdonk. This is number 10. Quaboag Plantation was the anticipated site of one of these locations, which was sanctioned by the General Court but never built. Daniel Gookin compiled a list of these places in Plymouth Colony that included Mashpee. John Sassaman and John Elliott helped found multiple instances of these locations, such as Natick, whose populations...
Praying towns.
Praying towns is correct. That is 5 points for Robert. And we'll do a score check.
Alex 0, Mateo 6, Rajiv 4, Shahid 4, Vaibhav 0, Emerson -3, Pranav Krishna 4, Robert 4, and Sophia 4.
Okay, so that matches up. All right, very good. Number 11. American attempts to capture Detroit were thwarted by this man's resounding defeat of George Rogers Clark's army in a battle known as Lockery's Defeat. This man's attack on Cherry Valley helped spark the retaliatory Sullivan expedition. This man's sister, Molly.
Joseph Brett.
Joseph Brandt is correct. That is 5 points for Robert again. Number 12. This woman was married to Danny Sugarman, the manager of the Doors, from 1993 until his death in 2005. While serving in her most famous role, this woman's mother, Wilma, simultaneously worked in the same capacity for National Security Advisor Robert McFarlane. While testifying to Congress, this woman stated, "Sometimes you have to go above the law," and admitted to jamming a shredder.
Fawn Hall.
Fawn Hall is correct. That is 5 points. For Shreed. All right, number 13. During his early congressional career, this person's most notable speech opposed the federal restoration of the College of William and Mary after the U.S. Civil War. This person's foremost rules change eliminated the disappearing quorum by counting silent members as
Bracket Reed.
yes, that is correct. That is for 5 points. Thomas Brackett Reed. Yes, that was for Shreed. Number 14. A cartoon lampooning this document depicts James Buchanan wielding a club. Horace Greeley claimed this document was for the brigands. And
Austin Manifesto.
the Austin Manifesto is correct. That is 6 points for Emerson. All right, number 15. This newspaper, which was the first to publish the World Almanac, was produced by Pennsylvania Railroad owner Thomas Scott, who sold it to Jay Gould. This newspaper was once headquartered in a building that was the first to be taller than Trinity Church.
The New York Post.
That is incorrect. That is -2 for Rajiv.
New York Times.
That is also incorrect. That is -2 for Mateo. Owned by a Hungarian businessman, this newspaper engaged in an escalating war of yellow journalism with brilliant.
New York World.
The New York World is correct. That is for 5 points for Pranav Krishna. Let's do a score check again.
Alex 0, Mateo 4, Rajiv 2, Shreed 14, Vaibhav 0, Emerson 3, Pranav Krishna 9, Robert 9, Sophia 4.
Okay. Number 16. This figure was nicknamed Bigfoot by a soldier at Fort Bennett in the Cheyenne River Reservation, and Black Coyote was a follower of this man. This man, alongside his brother, Touch the Clouds, was the son of Lone Horn, and he served as a chief of the Minneconjou tribe. On the invitation of Chief Red Cloud, this man led his followers south towards the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, and he was known as a major adherent of the ghost dance.
Crazy Horse.
It's incorrect. That is -2 for Vaibhav. Ghost dance movement, for the points, named this Lakota Sioux leader who was killed during the Wounded Knee Massacre.
Sitting Bull.
That is incorrect as well. Since I finished as he was, -1. Yes, can we clear the other? Thank you. It is time. That would be Spotted Elk. What's his name? Spotted Elk. Okay, number 17. This jazz musician depicted the rise and fall of man on an album which referenced the Java man fossil, Pithecanthropus erectus. This musician's psychotherapist wrote the liner notes to an avant-garde album, the tracks for which are named for groups of dancers, the Black Saint and the Sinner Lady. This musician depicted the Little Rock crisis in the protest song.
Mingus.
Charles Mingus is correct. That is for 5 points for Robert. It's on your playlist. All right, number 18. This battle included an assault on Hill 142 and also witnessed Dan Daly ask his machine gun company, "Come on, you sons of bitches, do you want to live forever?" After being told to withdraw from this battle, which occurred during
Bellow.
Sorry?
The Battle of Bellow Wood.
Yes, that is correct. That is 6 points for Robert. Okay, number 19. A satirical depiction of this event is shown in the new edition of Macbeth cartoon, in which a planter says, "No credit, huzzah!" In the lead up to this event, which was critiqued in a cartoon called The Times by Edward Williams Clay, Local Focos in New York spurred hungry workers to steal hoarded flour.
Panic of 1837.
That is correct for 5 points. Panic of 1837. 5 points for Bipoc. All right, toss up 20. This singer recorded the Hal David hit, I Say a Little Prayer, which depicts a woman fearful of her husband's safety in the Vietnam War. Reverend James Cleveland accompanied this singer.
Aretha Franklin?
Aretha Franklin is correct. That is 5 points for Mateo. So now to read the scores aloud after toss-up 20, we have Robert with 20, Shri with 14, Pranav, Krishna, and Mateo with 9, Sophia with 4, Vaibhav with 3, Rashid and Emerson with 2, and Alex with 0. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. It's a good game. Number 21. This organization was founded by future Quaker Oats CEO Robert Douglas.
America First Committee?
That is absolutely correct for 6 points. America First. So that is 6 for Shri. Toss-up 22. The socialist magazine, The Masses, published illustrations by this artist, including Splinter Beach, which depicts docks along the East River. In the early 1900s, this artist depicted the construction of Pennsylvania Station and painted the commotion of tenement life in cliff dwellers. This artist publicized matches of one sport in paintings like Both Members of This Club and Stag at Sharky.
What's his name?
That's incorrect. I'm sorry, that's -2 for Rajiv. For the points, name this artist who documented the rise of boxing as part of the Ashcan School. That is time. We were close. It was George Bellows. Bellows is his name. Number 23. This city was the site of the Forks of the Road slave market, the second largest slave market in the U.S. behind New Orleans. The only one of the Mississippian cultures to survive past European colonization lends its name to this.
Tuscaloosa?
That is incorrect. That is -2 for Emerson. It's named to this city, noted for its location on bluffs. This city lends its name to a trail, which was the site.
Natchez?
Natchez is correct. That is 5 points. You're about to say Meriwether Lewis's suicide. Is the next clue. So Robert got 5 points.
Yeah. Real Albert.
All right, number 24. During the War of 1812, this person was detained in Cooperstown, New York for harassing women, and later married the exonerating witness, Catherine Ostrander. While serving as an anti-Masonic representative, this person was a mentor of future President Millard Fillmore, and this opponent of the Albany Regency edited the Inquirer. For the points, identify this political boss who orchestrated the presidential nominations of William Henry Harrison and Zachary Taylor, as well as helping found the early Republican Party.
Thurlow Weed?
Thurlow Weed is correct. That is 3 points because I said party as you must. 3. So 3 for 3. All right, number 25. Prior to this conflict, a letter from Ottoman Sultan Abdul Hamid II effectively pacified would-be insurrectionists. To curtail juramentados during this conflict, John Pershing ordered soldiers to sacrilegiously bury suicide attackers with a dead pig. Victory in this.
Philippine American?
No, that is incorrect. That is -2 for Pranav Krishna.
World War I?
Is also incorrect. That is -2 for Mateo. Victory in this conflict, which included engagements at Bayang and the Malabad River, contributed to the exertion of American influence over a sultanate of the Sulu archipelago. For the points, identify this 1902 to 1913 conflict in which U.S. forces fought a Muslim ethnic group.
The Moro Rebellion?
The Moro Rebellion is correct. That is for 4 points for Robert. Okay, score check. We've got Robert with 29, Shri has 23, Pranav, Krishna, and Mateo tied with 7, Sophia with 4, Vaibhav with 3, and Emerson and Alex with 0. Checks out? All right, great. 10 to go. Here we go. Number 26. A devotee of the integrationist cause, this NAACP coworker broke with W.E.B. Du Bois in 1934 over Du Bois's support of voluntary black separation within U.S. society. This man anonymously authored Paul Robeson, Lost Shepherd, a pamphlet critical of Paul Robeson Wilkins. That is incorrect. That is -2 for Tree. A pamphlet critical of Paul Robeson's professed Soviet inclinations, succeeding James Weldon Johnson and preceding Roy Wilkins for the points, who was the executive secretary of the NAACP between 1929 and 1955 and during the trial of the Scottsboro Boys.
Randolph?
Randolph is incorrect. That is -1 for Alex.
Walter White.
Walter White is correct. That's 3 points for Robert. And not from Breaking Bad, the other Walter White.
Jesse.
All right.
Civil rights.
Number 27. As Secretary of State, this person arranged for Hiram Paulding's removal from office for landing Marines in Nicaragua to extradite William Walker. This person led an expedition that wrongly identified Red Cedar Lake. Lewis Cass is correct for 6 points. That was for 5
Every 2 years there's a Lewis Cass question.
Every 2 years is a Lewis Cass question. Okay, good to know. Number 28. This island, which is separated by the Raccoon Strait from the Tiburon Peninsula, was where Harry Bridges was tried on suspicions of being a Communist Party member. Those accused of being paper sons or paper daughters would be brought.
Angel Island.
Angel Island is correct. That's 5 points for Robert. Robert, you're at 37. And we're playing to 40. Number 29. In one of this author's novels, a 6-year-old girl tells the story of the divorce of her parents, Beale and Ida Farange. The actress Fanny Kemble is thought to have inspired a novel by this author about the Sloper family. Isabel Archer is the central character in another book by this author of Washington Square, and a short work by this author sees the children Miles and Flora taken care of by a governess who relates a set of ghost stories. For the points, name this American expatriate author of Portrait of a Lady and The Turn. Henry James is correct. That is 4 points for Sophia. Number 30. Following the Peace of Basel, the Prince of Peace moved to sign this treaty, which was the subject of a 1927 Pulitzer Prize-winning book by Samuel Flagg Famous.
The Adams on East Street.
It's incorrect. That is -2 for Robert. As a result of this treaty, a surveying team placed the Ellicott Stone on the St. Stephen's.
Why did I know this? Let's say Treaty of Guadalupe.
It's incorrect. That's -2 for Rajiv. That is also incorrect. That is -2 for Sophia. The answer was Pinckney's Treaty. The treaty with Spain. Pinckney's Treaty. No, I had not finished, so it's -2 for everybody. Okay, score check after 30 with 5 to go. We have Robert with 35, Shree with 21, Vaibhav with 9, Pranav, Krishna, and Mateo with 7, Sophia with 6, Emerson with 0, Alex with -1, and Rajiv with -2. So you guys do the math. Figure out what needs to be done. 31. This figure's wife, Sybil, founded an advocacy group for POWs after his capture. This president of the Naval Wars College wrote a book about Stoicism, leading to an emergence of the philosophy among military officers. While teaching at Stanford, this officer published Taiwan and the Sino-Soviet Dispute and Thoughts of a Philosophical Fighter Pilot, known for exclaiming, "I feel like I'm an observer at a ping pong game," and "Who am I? Why am I here?"
Stockdale.
James Stockdale is correct for 4 points for Vaibhav. All right, number 32. This archaeological site's Sun Temple was thought to be an astronomical observatory, and its construction stopped in 1276. This site was located in the north of the cultural region of Oasis America, in the home of a people who bordered the Mogollon and Hoboken. The largest cliff dwelling in North.
Shelley Canyon.
That is incorrect. That is -2 for Emerson. Cliff dwelling in North America, Cliff Palace, was built at this site to the north of Chaco Canyon.
Mesa Verde.
Mesa Verde is correct. That is 4 points for Rajiv. Okay. Number 33. This man who gained his fortune by founding Great Plains Software gained notoriety for offering.
Doug Burgum.
Doug Burgum is correct for 6 points. That's a nice buzz from Tree. Number 34. This person retired from the United States Army 4 days after attaining the rank of Lieutenant General because Dwight Eisenhower made it clear that this man would.
Evan Walker.
That's incorrect. That is -2 for Tree. Made it clear that this man would never be appointed Chief of Engineers. This person directed the construction of the Pentagon after General Fremont Somerville pushed the construction bill to Congress. This person encouraged President Truman to use nuclear weaponry in Japan and oversaw the hiring of J. Robert Oppenheimer. For the points,
Leslie Groves.
Leslie Groves is correct. That is 4 points for Robert.
Oh, yeah.
Not quite there. Okay. Just looking at what we've got scores-wise. Okay, we do have to break ties, so we will do that if we have to. Number 35. During this conflict, a 5-day shootout involving the Murphy-Dolan faction was suppressed by Nathan Dudley's U.S. Cavalry Division from Fort Stanton. This conflict began with a dispute over dispersing Emil Fritz's insurance policy and the attempted seizure of John Tunstall's cattle. This conflict was fought between the Jesse Evans gang and the regulators, the latter of whom included the notorious outlaw Billy the Kid.
Harlan County Boy.
That is incorrect. That is -2 for Bob. For the points, name this gang war fought in a namesake area of Deadwood. That is incorrect. That is -2 for Mateo. Of New Mexico.
The Lincoln County War.
Lincoln County War is correct. Three.
Don't do it.
Perfect timing, David. We just finished. We have no ties.
Okay, go on.
So that's what I'm saying.
Doing that.
Hand the mic over to you.
Okay, full name.
We get a score sheet here. Full name.
Or if you got the laptop.
Perfect.
Okay, all right, congratulations. We've got a national champion here, and we've got 8 other awards to hand out. So in ascending order, congratulations first to Blaine Jesuit and Emerson Patmore in 9th place. Okay. In 8th place, we have Alex Stepp. Congratulations. What school are you from? Northview. Northview in Georgia. Georgia, yes, excellent. Okay. In 7th place, we have Rajiv Gujara from Darien in Hampton. In 6th place, we have Matteo Fiola. Congratulations. In Pennsylvania. All right, congratulations. Wow. Okay. We are up to 5th place. We have Sophia Jones. Congratulations, coming up. Congratulations. Okay, we are up to 4th place, and that goes to Pranav Krishna Baranadaran. Oh, next up, in Okay, in third place, we have Viba Janardon, congratulations. From Thomas Jefferson, Alexandria, Virginia. Okay, great. In second place, we have from the George School in Pennsylvania, Srihit Halapaneni. And your national champion, Robert Wong from the Nolan and I have to get up to Capitol Hill to meet with the Puerto Rican delegation to Congress to get them into International Geography Olympiad. That's what I'm up to, at least. But if you want to have some photos, we've got the banner up here. We'll move this back a little bit, do some photo ops, so do this quickly. Otherwise, congratulations to Robert as national champion in Geography. I will see you all back here for the opening ceremony at 7:30 tonight. All right. Thank you all.